on the computer. Okay, so we're making our half our clay slab into a sphere. We're patting out any bumps and any wee cracky bits like this. I tend to just smooth out with my thumb, or you can use your finger. And my clay has been sitting out for a wee bit, so it goes what we call kind of plastic. It's a kind of plasticky feeling rather than a goopy, muddy feeling. So yeah, there's different terms for different drynesses of clay, I guess. But it's good to get a nice sphere to start off with. And I'll just say again for the recording that the other half has been put to the side. Like that. So yeah, you could take quite a long time getting that sphere perfect, but just get it as good as you can. And then we're going to go to this stage here. So we're going to be getting our thumb and we're going to push it down into the middle. So I've kind of done a wee bit there to like see, and we're just pushing it down, not all the way through, because we want to have the bottom of our pinch pot. It's going to be about a pencil thickness, so I can kind of feel that, not going all the way through. So it should look like that. So there's a bit of a similarity, thank goodness. Next stage we've got is pinch and turn. So what I tend to do, and it doesn't tell you here, I tend to start at the bottom and then I move to the middle and then I move to the top. So I do it in 3 stages. And it's quite good if you've not got false nails because they do get dirty. I just can't keep long nails at all. I've just got to have short nails being an art teacher. So yeah, so I'm just going to show you what I'm doing there. I call it kind of quack and duck, like this. We're doing a wee quack and duck, and we're going to be pinching that wee duck is going to be pinching around the bottom of the pot. And you'll feel it. You'll be able to squeeze the clay, and it's quite therapeutic. And you'll feel the wall of the clay start to change. And then when I show you like this, it should start to widen a wee bit. The bottom, I've pinched a full rotation, done my wee quack and duck all the way around. And then I'm going to move to here. Okay, so I've started down here where my fingertips are. I'm moving my fingertips to the middle now. And I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to do a rotation and I'm squeezing that clay wall so that it becomes a bit thinner. You might get these sort of depressions in there where you can see where my fingers have been. You don't really want to see that, so you can try and kind of press them out a wee bit. You want it to be a nice smooth transition from the bottom of the pot to the middle to the top. So do you see how it's changed again? Mm-hmm. It's changed again. So I've got a thicker wall here and it's a wee bit thin here, so I don't want to press too much there. And I'm going to check with a pencil just to see, yeah, I need to press that a wee bit thinner. And this is more visible, you can see what's actually happening. See if I squeeze the clay wall, you can see it just squeezing into a sort of thinner wall shape. Some people think, oh, I've made a mess of it. All you do is you just scrunch it into a sphere again and you do it again. So it's not the end of the world if your first attempt is not the way you want it. And then it's good just to kind of, you know, pinch or smooth away any little lumps and bumps. Like that. So once we get to that stage, we've actually gone from here, which is the round piece of clay, pushing our thumb in, pinch and turn in 3 places, and now we're here. How are we doing with that, Safa? Are you okay?
I'm okay, but mine is actually gone taller.
Good.
Is that normal?
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
Yeah, seems fine.
Good,
mine
that's
not-
okay. That's all right. I might
This is went awful wide. Don't know what I've
Right.
done.
That's okay. I can show you how to fix that. It's not a problem. What we're going to do though, I like to give it a tap off the surface so it goes flat, because you might have a kind of bumpy surface that's going up and down. So if you give it a tap, it's a good check, because look how thin it is here. And then I can just thin mine out. At this side, like that. How you doing, Rubina?
Mine's just went very wide.
Right, okay. And Jen? Oh,
I think it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Yep. Julie? Are you
Yeah.
finding it? Good. Okay. Right, Rubina, if you think you have a piece that's too wide, what you can do there, mine's a wee bit wide as well. You can actually cut a pizza slice out, like a wee pizza slice triangle. And what you do is you push it over like that. So I've got the wall going inside and one bit of the wall going outside, and then you smooth the outside and you smooth the inside together. You can actually bring it in. So that's if you need to, and then you smooth it out. There's another wee trick that you've learned. Just depends on the size of clay you've started with as well, and how deep you've gone down. Sometimes if you don't go right down to the bottom, it can go a wee bit wider. There we go. So with this, you can just take a wee bit of time just to smooth it. I like to have a wee dish with a sponge in, and you can give it a wee smooth with the sponge. So if you see that making a difference, again, it's not essential, it's just additional. It's something that you can do. And if you really like clay and you want to go and buy a wee set of tools like that, and you can just put it in there. There we go. So you don't want to have it too soaking wet, because it can crack and it's not so good. But anyway, there we go. I'm just going to dry my hands. Okay, so what you might want to think about is adding another wee section on top. Mine isn't tall, okay? I'm thinking I'm going to have to add a wee strip. I can show you where my finger is. I'm probably going to add another wee wall going around there for my owl. If you think you've got a really tall pot, then you don't need to do that. So I'm just going to go back to my clay. And it's a pencil thickness, but I'm going to have to cut 2 strips the same. So you should have a piece of paper that I've given you in your kit, and I like to do things in paper before I commit to the clay, to be honest, just to let you see what I'm talking about. So I've cut a rectangle, a strip, and I'm putting it around, and I'm just a wee bit short. Sorry guys, I'm just a wee bit short. So then I know I need to cut a longer rectangle.
Do you want the rectangle the same width at height as the pot, Michelle?
I'm actually just trying to add an extra bit on to my pot. But I mean, how are you feeling about the height of your pot? Are you happy with it? If you were to make
No, I think mine's is too short.
it needs to be taller. Yeah, yeah, I'm the same. And it's good to know how to do this, because we're going to attach clay to clay, and that's what we did last week, Safa. So So you know. Now, I'm probably going to have to cut 2 rectangles out of this slab here and then put them on, rather than opening up a whole new strip of clay. So let's check this, and I keep having to change my camera, my position in my clay, so that you can see it basically. So do you see how I'm going to add that extra bit on there, but I'm going to make it out of clay, and I've checked that that's the right size of what I need. So what I need to do, I'm going to take this remainder of clay, and I'm going to cut probably 2 rectangles out and join them together on top of my clay pot. Okay, so I'm going to have this wee extra bit for the owl's ears and the eyes and a wee bit of a wing. So if I can hold that like that, it's actually a wee bit too tall now, do you think? I could take a wee bit off the top of that.
Yeah. Half that,
Too tall?
maybe.
Yeah, I think half, you're right. I want exactly the same bit of clay. What I do is, if I want it to be exactly the same as this, I'll put it on top of another bit, and then I just cut it. So you can get 2 exactly the same pieces of clay if you're doing that. Okay, so if I stick them on like that, they're going to fall off. There's no doubt about it. But that's better, isn't it? That's much better. And because we've used the pencil thickness, it's going to be the right thickness. Okay, that's why we did that. Now, any wee bits that are left over like this, we're going to block it. Okay, so when we block clay, we squeeze it and we tap it off one side, then it's the opposite side, and then we're making it into a cube basically. And that can be rolled out again, which we probably will do for our features for the rest of the video. So I'm just going to block it and put it to the side. Okay, so we learned last week about how to attach clay to clay. So what we do, and you can use a wee toothpick. This is like your fancy clay tool, but the wee toothpicks are just as good. And we do this, we go diagonally one way, and then we go diagonally the other way, like that, all the way around the top of the pinch pot. Like that. So diagonally left, diagonally right. And it's just to create a texture, rather than trying to join two smooth textures together, you attach 2 rough textures together and it creates a grip. And that's a good thing for clay. So I'm going to be attaching this side like that. So I need to make sure that I'm doing the diagonal scoring here, so that I've got 2 rough edges instead of 2 smooth edges. How did you go on with your clay tile, Rubina? Did you finish it?
Well, yes, I went mad.
Did you? Did you go crazy?
But I discovered it was a really good learning curve, I think, because I'm a wee bit OCD and I wanted things nice and fine.
Uh-huh.
I discovered that if you make them too fine with clay, it ain't going to work.
Did it break?
So
Did it
I
fragile?
made wee bees and I made butterflies and all that sort of stuff to sit on the flowers, and they all broke.
Oh, God. Oh, that must
But
be
hey ho,
great.
it was great. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Huh.
I didn't care, it didn't work, to be honest.
Mhm.
I just enjoyed it.
Good for you.
And I felt I learned through it as well, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's when it dries out, it becomes that wee bit more fragile, doesn't it? And if it's too thin, it's like you touch it and it can fragment. So unless you
I
put
was
a
trying to
really
make the
strong varnish,
petals at the end very thin, you see, and very fine, but
bits can come off at the edges, especially at little corners and things.
yeah.
I always find like with clay, big chunky kind of pieces tend to last the longest with no sticky out bits that are sticking out too far. It's usually a good idea to keep the kind of shapes quite close to the body, a bit like how you can see with the owl. They're all quite flat shapes. There's nothing really sticking out that if you were to, and it happens, you know, you can just brush against it. But when it's kind of more chunky like that, it is a wee bit more robust. As a thicker kind of clay piece there, so yeah, it can take a wee bit more of a knock. But yeah, it's interesting trying to get that fine detail in. So I've got a wee cup of water here, and you can, I tend to just get my finger in and I rub some water into the clay. Next week we'll make up some slip. We'll get to see how you do that. And it's just a wee bit stronger, but we should be fine with that. Plenty of water on there, so you see how it changes. And then I'm just going to attach the top of my owl. And we've got these wee joins in here, so they need to be scored as well, just to let you know that. I'm going to score them and add the water as well. It's like a Frankenstein monster owl, isn't it? So, oh, all these wee body parts were sticking onto it. Poor thing.
And does it have to be soft to you know, you can't do that once it's dried, you know, join parts?
Well, you could glue a piece on if you had made it separate and you want to glue it on with Yoo-hoo glue. I can't say anything bad about Yoo-hoo glue, it's probably one of the best. But it just depends how purist you want to be, you know, if you want to say, oh, I made it all, you know, through scoring and I would tend to say it's best to do it that way. What were you thinking? Did you have an idea where you were like, oh, let's try something else?
No, I was just asking, you know, it was just, I just wondered if that was feasible or...
I mean, you can attach wee sequins to clay and decorate it and things at the end. I don't see why not. Now, I'm just showing you, I tend to, when I've got ugly seams like this, I stitch them with my clay tool that you've got. So I stitch them and I smooth them with my finger. I'm just going to be doing that on the outside and on the inside. So you're just kind of pulling a piece of clay from one side to the other, and you can go the opposite way as well, just to join that up. And I'm just holding it in my hand and I'm going all the way around. You can hear a nice
got-
wee bird.
Birds.
How we doing, guys? Are we okay?
Okay.
If you're needing any help, just let me know. Sometimes I scrape any excess clay along this edge as well, like this direction. Kind of go vertical and horizontal. How you doing, Jen? Is it all coming back to you? Is it all coming back?
I tended to do kind of like, it was with kids, so we just did like
Oh, did you?
trinket
Yes.
bowls or like tea light holders. So
Yes.
this is kind of, it's not quite going.
Let me see. How you doing? Oh, excuse me.
Oh, I've got low battery.
Oh,
There we go. I've only done
Oh,
one bit.
wow.
I need to do the other bit.
that's great. That's great. I mean, it's a case of just being gentle with it and attaching these wee things, and then you can mold it again once it's sitting on the table. And if it turns out to be a wee wonky owl, that's fine. Nothing wrong with a wee wonky owl. Just to show you this pinch pot technique. Pinch pots are great for making animals. Anything around body tends to get 2 pinch pots put together. How you doing, Julie? You okay?
I think I'm okay. I can see sort of joins in the inside.
Yes, I'm doing that too. Yep.
I'm just kind of smoothing it with my fingers actually, rather than.
Yeah, I tend to do a bit of a combination of both. I'll maybe go in with the tool first, and it's a bit
Right.
rough and ready, and then I go in with my finger. So
Right.
it just, then again, it's preference. It really is. If you don't like using the tool, that's fine as well. I'm not going to say that's wrong.
Aye, it's just my joins. I can see them quite
Yeah.
strongly. So
Yeah, I'm kind of scraping with a plastic tool. Scrapes, or I call it stitching, and then I smooth with my finger.
right, I see that. I'm doing that now.
And then I just kind of. And how are you feeling today, Safa? Because I was worried about you a wee bit. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
just plunging
Yeah.
in the tent here, but
No, I'm
Okay.
feeling. Yeah, I'm fine now.
do
Yeah.
you like it? Some people are kind of like, they love it, or they go, oh God, I don't know about
It's
that.
one thing, because I've taken up painting recently.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be nice to do something as well that's kind of a bit more touchy-feely.
It is, yeah, and it's 3D.
Yeah.
I did sculpture at art school, so I just love anything 3D, but I mean, I love painting as well, so my
Yeah,
problem is I do too many different things. I need to just...
I know, see, that's my
I'm
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do too
Oh,
many
no.
things in
Yeah.
lockdown. You think, oh, I've got the opportunity now
I
to do
know.
things.
Totally. I mean, how good is that for creativity, though? I mean, I know there's a lot of anxiety that has come with the lockdown and things, but I did the second one. I just thought, right, I'm going to get into doing some drawing. I actually just went to basic drawing.
Yeah, like sketching.
I did a nice barn owl. I did a picture of one of them, and I'm on a hare now. And I just find that quite therapeutic.
I'm kind of trying to things like portraits. I'm quite.
Oh, lovely.
I really like the concept of them. So, I've
Excellent.
done 2, and I'm quite enjoying it. They're very basic. I mean, they're very, you know. I mean,
Well,
I
you
still
know,
like it.
There's a rule to portraiture. You've got your grids, your facial grid, and there's different methods that you can use to build up a 3D face. So it's like everything in, you know, any subject, there's always kind of building blocks.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I need to learn those. But before I can see how yours is kind of got like a bit of a belly at the bottom and
Yeah,
smaller. Mine isn't.
I think, you know, don't worry, we're all going to have a different wee shape. And I like
you're
that,
right,
though. I like that because it's unique. You know, everyone's got their own version. So if it doesn't look exactly like mine, don't worry about that. I mean, you could spend quite a lot of time on this, smoothing it and modelling it. But there's nothing to stop you from buying a wee bit of air drying clay and, you know, doing some work. What I'm really trying to do is teach you the techniques so that you can do your own things as well as, you know, coming onto the online. So if you feel you've tried it and think, I want to try it again, well, obviously I've given you some clay for the classes, but you can order it. Should I say Amazon? I always feel a bit guilty recommending Amazon because they've got the monopoly, haven't they? Not exactly local. But I wouldn't advise going into your back garden and pulling out the clay from your from your garden. It'll be full of stones and all sorts. This has been refined. So I've tried to kind of make the top a wee bit straighter and then it's coming out a wee bit more of a belly. But again, you know, that's not perfect. I'd be want to take a wee bit more time over that and any wee lumps and bumps, just getting rid of them. But I've only got an hour, and it is one of those things you could tickle away. You could be tweaking for quite some time.
Michelle, mine's
Yes,
is
Jen.
really, it's become really wide. Can I use that
Pizza
pizza
slice.
cup thing
Yes.
again?
Yes. Yeah, try and do both sides. If you do one side, do the other side as well.
Right.
I'm doing the same as well because mine is the same.
Yep.
It's kind of got haywire.
I think we tend to get quite enthusiastic and start pinching it a wee bit thinner and thinner and stuff. So, but yeah, the wee pizza slice is a good one. It's a good one to learn. Right, so I'm going to think about some shapes here. I'm going to draw them on. I'm going to do a wee bit of a simpler version than that one that's in the and I'm going to bring that down, sorry. There we go. So I'm going to be attaching a wee beak shape there and a circle shape. You might want to get, if you're not want to draw it freehand, you can draw around something circular, whether it's a wee coin. I'm always looking for circular things to trace round. Just depends how big you want the eyes. You might want them really big and exaggerated.
Michelle, can I ask you something,
Yes.
please?
Sure.
How do you level off the top?
I tend to just give it a little press. I turn it upside down and I tap it on a flat surface. And just do it gently, obviously, because you don't want to be undoing all your good work.
This is going to be the weirdest shape ever, by the way.
Is that let's make it a funky, wonky owl. But remember, Rubina, I've done these before, so you're just learning. You know,
Yeah. I seem to have got very uneven width now at the top for some reason.
Because I'm pinching.
Is it something you feel, oh, I can't live with that, or because you can roll it out again and you can put it on again? But what I'd like you to do is just watch the stages, but you can always go back and you can fix anything with clay. You know, once it's, you know, it's not as if it's a material. Once it's on there, you can't fix it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start again.
I think me too. Do you know that?
Okay.
Michelle, can I see your markings on your face?
On the face?
So you want a kind of...
So I'm just showing you kind of what I'm going for there, but I've rolled out another wee bit of clay And when Fiona watches this, it's just to let her know that in the recording, you can roll it between 2 pencils if you want a consistency in your thickness of clay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put in a wee circle there, but if you want it exactly the same for the other eye, you just pick that off there and you go around it again. So I should have 2 exactly the same. It can take a wee bit of trial and error. I find I always go on about my crochet experience, but I couldn't crochet at all until somebody showed me, and it took an hour for them to show me how to do it, and my tension was all over the place. But it was the repetition and it was the practice to get the feel for the material. And that's what you're doing just now. You're kind of getting a feel. You're probably testing the boundaries of your clay, kind of seeing, right, okay, what happens if I make it too thin or if it's not thin enough. So there's that kind of aspect of when you're starting off with a material. So that should be me. That's my 2 owl eyes there. I'm going to score and slip on. But you can make markings into clay. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to push that down in the centre to create 2 wee pupils like that. And then you can, maybe a bit of a cliche, but I like the idea of owls having like stripes around their eyes. Like that. So I'm going to score that side. A bit of crisscrossing. And then I'm going to do it onto the surface of the clay. Yeah, I mean, really, I just want you to see how it's done, but you can go back and fix it. I've done that too, but I've even just done it with a whole pinch pot. I've just went, I don't like that, and I've just made it into a sphere again and pinched it out again. So there's no harm in that whatsoever. And I'm just adding my water onto both surfaces. Yeah. Everybody's going quiet. You're all concentrating. Oh. Another wee thing, I'm going to put the beak on as well, but you can actually draw into your clay with your toothpick, and it's not on the image I gave you, but I quite like the idea of just putting in little V's, you know, little diagonal feathers almost. And see, if you don't like it, you just rub it out. Like that, you can just take your finger over it and it'll rub away. So I've put a wee feathery chest on. Like that. if we were face to face, it's easy for me to come in and do it for you. So I'm a bit frustrated probably because I want to come in and help if you need it. But again, it's quite good for you to be able to fix it. But I don't want you struggling. If you're feeling, how are you getting on? Is anyone feeling that it's a bit tricky?
My clay is slightly cracking. Do you just rub it? Do you just-
Yeah, you can even dip your finger in the water and that will help just to smooth that out.
Mhm.
I feel my pinch pot's already a better size second time around. It's not as wide and as flimsy.
Yeah.
So
I think sometimes even third time's lucky, Jen, honestly.
yeah.
If you're happy, great. But I've seen me do things that can be 3 times and I'm like, okay, right, I can live with that. But you're
Did you just draw that beak, Michelle?
What I've done, I'll show you what I've done there. I'll draw it actually on a bit of paper so you can see it better. What I've done with my beak, I've got a diagonal line going up the way to the right and then another one joining on that's leaning like that. And then I've got 2 longer ones joining underneath. That's what I've done. You could, if you wanted a more rounded side, you could maybe do more rounded corners, but I quite like a wee sharp beak like that. So you could actually draw it, cut it out, and then use that as a wee template on your clay, or you can just draw onto your clay and cut it out there. And that's what I've got, my wee clay piece. I'm going to put that on. So always remember to do your scoring in your water.
My eyes are for the owl are 2 different sizes at the moment.
Are they?
Yeah.
Does it look quite comical? Is it? It reminds me of the owl. I don't know if you saw it in the was that a Sinbad movie or one of these Jason and the Argonauts or something. There was this wee mechanical owl.
That's right.
The cutest wee thing.
It's a wee kind of mechanical thing.
Yeah. I think that would be quite funny having 2 different sizes. But so how do you think, if you don't want 2 different sizes, we need to pick one of them and then put it in your bit of clay, draw around it so you've got exactly the same. Okay, so I'm just going to show you quickly how to do 2 wee ears and 2 wee wings, and then we can put them on. So it's a wee bit different, but I think there's just a wee bit more detail in this version, I think.
It looks like a bit like an alien. It doesn't look much like an
Let's see it. Let's see.
isn't it? No.
Oh, lovely. I bet you everyone will love it, and everyone's so critical of themselves.
Light and everybody's so nice. So
Owls can be quite weird looking anyway. I always think they're kind of like cats with wings, you know, big eyes and.
No, it's weird as mine.
I think mine is a little bit chunky.
Oh, well, I'm doing 2 triangles for ears, so I want them to be the same. So I've drawn a triangle. I'm cutting that out. I'm going to put it on another bit of the clay, and I'm going to cut around that. So I've got 2 the same, and then I'm going to put my 2 wee triangles, if you can see what I've done, above the eyes. They're in there. Like that. I need to keep recentering my clay. It always kind of wants to kind of disappear off the camera. I'm always pulling it back. It's the weirdest thing. I'm just doing my scoring above the eyes as well. Try not to overthink it though, because I think when we first start off with a new thing, we're like, oh, we're enthusiastic, and then it's like you can overthink trying to get it perfect. But clay is handmade, you know, it's not a machine made thing, and it is going to have its kind of little
Character.
it's going to have its own character, yeah. And I think that's the nice thing about it, because it's not machine made, and it's, you know, it's going to be like, I don't know, it's like a wee creature, isn't it? There we go. But now that you've learned the pinch pot technique, there's nothing to stop you from going on to Pinterest, and you can look up pinch pot animals, and you'll see there's loads of stuff you can do with that technique. I do it a lot with like secondary school kids. They seem to quite enjoy, I think they like animals basically, it's a popular kind of subject. We've done like wee animal money banks. I'm trying to think what else we've done. We've got loads of things. Yeah. So that's the wee ears on. And I'm going to put a wee wing here and a wee wing there. And I think you could put wee feet on if you wanted. Show you that as well. So for the wing, I think I'm just going to do like a wee oval shape. Just a wee small wing. I'm not going to make it too big. So I've put my two wee wings either side. Like that. There we go. So I think I'm going to put two wee feet here, but I'm just going to make them simple. You can roll a wee bit of clay. It's quite nice if you roll clay in between that wee area in your palm and this wee area, and you just give it a wee roll. And you'll get a wee petal. And again, just scoring and adding your water. There we go. So that's my wee guy, but that's my version. So if you want to add something else on, you can do that. It's not a problem. I'm so curious to see how you've got on though.
I'm really slow, Michelle. It took me ages to make the beak.
Literally, but that's fine. Listen, honestly, see if you, once you're finished, just send me a wee picture of it if you want me to have a look at it.
I'm going to just probably enjoy making it and just.
Well, I don't want you to rush it. No, definitely not. As long as you are okay with me showing you how to do that.
Yeah.
And I have
perfect.
recorded the session, so if you want me to send you the recording, I can do that. But is there any parts of that you think I need to go over again or show you how to do it again? Anyone?
No, I'm happy.
You happy?
I think I'm probably going to redo it, if I was honest.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a disaster.
Well, you feel that you know how to do it though. Like, see if you were to do it again, you would know how to improve it, because that's part of learning. That's the way it works. You know, sometimes it's a case of, well, first time you're getting a feel for it, second time you're getting to kind of, you know, obviously fix any wee bits that you weren't happy about. And there's no problem with that at all. In fact, I wish people did that and instead of just giving up, because, you know, at the end of the day, that's life, isn't it? It's not always totally perfect first time round. But yeah, if you want to send me a picture of it, please do.
Yeah.
And I'm on, you know, you can message me if you need any help as well. I don't mind if you're stuck.
Okay, I'm going to be daring here and I'm going to show you mine.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
That's great.
Oh,
Stop it.
Oh, well,
Hey,
that looks like an owl, I have to admit. Oh,
That looks awful. That is just awful. I'm going to have to redo it. I'll show you the.
you've managed, you've done all the shapes and you put them together correctly.
Yeah, kind of.
So we're so critical of ourselves.
Eyes are a bit weird, and he's a bit short for the feathers at the bottom, but yes.
Oh, it's a recreation. And you know, it's the first time getting a go at clay. That's really good. That is so good. A lot of people would be wishing they could do that. Well
Michelle, is
done.
it just triangles for the ears? I'm just having a wee look.
Yeah,
It's just
2
not big,
triangles.
small.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, got you.
So I draw one, cut it out, and then I put it on another bit of clay, draw around it and cut it out.
And
Right.
what kind of shape were the wings?
I just done wee oval shapes like that. Just
Right.
wee ovals.
I'm only on the eyes.
You can change that. Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, because an hour is quite fast. It just flies in, doesn't it? Definitely does. But I'd rather you took your time. I just don't want to leave you in the lurch. You know, I'd feel really bad if I go, right, bye everyone, well done. And then it's like, you're like, oh, how do we do that? How about yourself, Rabina? Oh my God, that is so good.
That's so nice.
That's so good.
That is brilliant.
I know. Now see if you want to put a wee hole at the bottom, you can do that. You can just you get different tools as well if you were to get a wee kit, but you can do this with a pencil, but this is a kind of loop tool that you can get. I'm just kind of showing you some things that make, you know, life easier. So that's a kind of loop tool that can pull clay out. It can carve clay basically. Instead of what we've done a lot of is attaching clay pieces on, You can add in clay to clay, but you can pull clay out, and you can have a wee water hole if you were to put a wee plant in there.
Did that come with your kit?
It came with the kit, yeah. If you want me to send you the link for the, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but it was a wee kit that I thought it's an okay price, and you know, I'll definitely use quite a lot of these different things, and it's just good for you to know that there's wee tools there that can make things a bit easier. But again, everything you've got there, you'll be fine. But I'd just like to let you know that these things exist. Basically. So are you okay for me to leave? I've got a class on at 7.
I'm fine, Jill.
Are you sure? But you know where I am if you need me, okay? This was a wee bit more advanced, so well done, everybody, because you know, you've done great. Did you enjoy it? Was it okay?
Yeah.
Very
Good.
great.
Michelle, if I could ask you a favour, could you
Yes.
send me that little leaflet through that you had?
A leaflet, what was it for?
See the wee pictures that you showed me earlier on that you
Oh
couldn't
yeah, right. So if you're on Messenger, I'm just going to use you there because that's how I tend to just use Facebook a lot for that kind of thing. And I don't seem to have problems, so I don't know why I've not managed to get through on your phone. So yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Got one, and ours was a wee bit different. Hang on, I'm coming back to this. Yeah, so ours was a wee bit different from that one, our wee owl, but I'll send you anyway. And another one with a pinch pot. I shall do it right now.
Thank you.
Well, it's lovely to see you, and look forward to next week. I'll send you a wee picture and more techniques, and just please keep in touch. You know, once you've done your wee piece, let me see it, because it cheers me up. I just love seeing them. So enjoy this lovely evening. It's really nice out there, so have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.